not the image of the devil. You are a child of God. You are created by God.
So I basically grew up in the church. My family brought me and my sisters, my whole family were in the church since we were a child. So as being in church, our life were kind of good. It was wonderful. Until one day that I felt a pain all over my body. And my mom decided to take me to the hospital to check it out what it was. Throughout the exams, the doctor found out that I had cancer. And the cancer was spread already throughout my blood, and I would only have 2 weeks of life. And that's when the thought came, I am in the church, I believe in God. Why was God doing this to me? I blamed God for my cancer. I had a leukemia. And because of my mom, perseverance, my mom kept praying for me, doing all the sacrifice. That's when the miracle happened. The exact 2 weeks of life the doctor gave me, of life, it took me 2 weeks to be healed, completely healed. A miracle happened. But I still had that thought on my mind that it was God's fault because my life was amazing and all of a sudden it changed completely because, for you to receive a news that you're gonna die in 2 weeks, you're gonna start blaming everybody. That's when all the emptiness came, all the bad thoughts. I didn't care about church. I didn't care about Bible. I didn't care about people who was going to the church. I was in the church occupying a seat and I stayed like this in the church without not knowing God for a good period of time. I know that something was going wrong, but I didn't want to think to myself, I need to go seek for God. No, so God was my last option. I thought it was because I needed more friends. I needed to be more around people, but not with God. And even though I had friends, family all around me, that didn't change what was going on inside of me. And one day I went to the church and this pastor was saying, if you want to be saved, you need your salvation. You need to give your life to God. You need to put your life in God's hand. And that's when it came through my mind what God have done to me. And I was wasting my time in the church. So that's when everything started to change inside of me. It wasn't from a night to a day. It took time. And little by little, I start paying attention to what pastor was saying and I start practicing that because it's not only the pastor preach, you gotta do something. Whatever pastor was preaching, I was doing what he was saying on the altar. And I told God that I didn't want to live that life anymore, even though I wasn't doing anything wrong anymore. But I still asked God to forgive me because I blamed him so much. And I start seeking for God. I would start going to the church more and more. I start seeking God at church, at home, especially at home. And that's one day that I went to a vigil. It was on a Friday night, and I still remember this. It was the best day. That's when I was seeking for God, and that's when the Holy Spirit came. I was so happy that night. I couldn't feel anything, but I knew that God was there with me. Everything changed completely inside of me, my thoughts. I want to help people today to receive what I received, because when you have the Holy Spirit, everything changes completely. It's a change that it's inside. It's from inside to outside. I got married. God gave me a man of God. I have my job. I do have my own business. I have my workers that works for me. God has blessed me through all the way. Financial, family, spiritually, and everything. Today, whenever the problem comes, it comes every day. I just put in God's hands because I know by the end, He's the one who's gonna solve everything. To people that are lost in church, like I stayed in the church for almost 10 years, wasting my time, I advise you to not do that. I advise you to seek the Holy Spirit, to give your life to God, and you will see everything will change. The way that God did in my life, He will do it in yours. Don't waste your time.